Welcome back here in Bonifay, Florida, in Holmes County, right here at what is known as the farm. Now, if you've heard some of our other segments, you're already aware that that's an acronym for Faith-Based Addiction Regeneration Ministry, a fancy way, if you will, of saying that it's an opportunity for guys who have been challenged by the temptations of life and who have perhaps been incarcerated, perhaps have had other brushes with the law, and are now given an opportunity in an environment which is just plain gorgeous to sort of turn their life around. Here right now with us is Jeremiah Guynn. Jeremiah, what is your official title here at the farm?
I am the director of the farm.
Director, okay. I was kind of unsure. I knew that you were just the big guy and the head cheese, but I'm already impressed. We've had the opportunity to talk to you, talk to some of the other sheriffs and some of the other pastors involved. Let's start at the beginning. Jeremiah, we mentioned that this is sort of a second chance opportunity, in some cases a third or fourth chance, in some cases the last chance that a guy's going to get before he maybe resigns himself to a life of being incarcerated, or worse, may end up in the cemetery somewhere because of the issues that he's dealing with in life. Let's start at the beginning. Like I say, you've gone through the program at Dunklin, a 50-year-old program which has done just that. It's given guys an opportunity to retake their own lives in control. And so talk a little bit about that.
For me, I come from an 18-year addiction to drugs and alcohol, and getting to Dunklin, I was at a place in my life where, like you're saying, it was life or death, and I knew that I was going to die if I didn't get help. And what Dunklin did was just give me a safe place to build a relationship with Jesus, to be accountable to guys, and to build good, healthy relationships with men, which I had never had in my life. So here at the farm, that's what we're planning on, creating the same atmosphere for the men here.
Now, did you go through incarceration during your times of trouble?
I also was, I was arrested. Didn't do a whole time, did some time in the county jail, and upon getting out of there, I was facing a 15-year prison sentence. So, I had the option of going to Dunklin or doing 15 years in prison, and fortunately I was able to, get down to Dunklin and get to a place where, I could learn about who I was and why I did the things that I'd done. So,
were you married and had a family at that time?
Yes, sir. I have a beautiful wife, Christina. We've been married for 13 years, 3 days ago. So, and we have two beautiful children, a son named Andrew, he's 12, and our little girl is Brianna, and she's 10 years old.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So your family has had the opportunity, if you will, to experience all that you have, and it's just got to be a new lease on life for them.
Yes, definitely. The children, that's who we seen it in first. After I started doing what I was supposed to have been doing the whole time, we seen the change in our children. They went from being, sad and upset and mad all the time and hanging their heads down low to just two little balls of joy running around with big smiles on their face. So, that was the first blessing that, we seen take place, was in our children.
Yeah, that's one thing that we sort of neglect to talk about, is the family aspect of it. The wife who's devastated when the husband goes to jail, the kids who no longer know their dad, and certainly when he's around, maybe he's a different person because of drug, alcohol, what have you.
Absolutely.
You have got to be excited. Yes. This has been a process that's been in progress for several years. A couple of years ago, we met at Al Getler's business over in Chipley. A group of sheriffs from the surrounding counties, along with a bunch of the pastors, other interested parties, all came together. It was a presentation. We had several guys who had been to Dunklin. We had several guys from this area who had turned their life around. I don't think it took much to convince anybody that this was a worthwhile effort. How did they end up recruiting you?
Well, almost 3 years ago to the day, they started praying for God to send, someone to Bonifay to lead, and just to oversee, the ministry up here. And that actually was the same almost to the day that I had graduated and started training down there 3 years ago. So for the last 3 years, every Tuesday, the Baptist church has gotten together at Bonifay and prayed for, just God's direction. And my staff training was up at Dunklin, and we weren't sure what doors God was going to open for the family. And the staff and the elders down there started praying, and we were praying, and they were up here praying, so a lot of prayer went into it. And Mr. Sullivan had called down and asked for see if there was anyone available, at that moment, and it just happened to be within a 2-week period, and God just opened up the door. We come up here, we really enjoyed it. Like you said, it's just a beautiful county, a beautiful piece of property out here that God's been using since 1920 that I know of, when the Baptist Association owned. So it's just it's been a blessing to be up here, and we knew it was right. So
the interesting thing about this program is that you do promote from within. Somebody who successfully graduates the program actually has the opportunity to stay around, be a mentor, and possibly even, as in your case, graduate to the point where they become a director of a facility themselves. It's often been said, I know that I've experienced it when I've had to teach other people, is that you learn when you teach. I guess it's probably a really nice reinforcement for you, having gone through the program. If you're in a position where you're having to instruct people and kind of open their eyes, there's no way you can backslide. You've got the best of all worlds.
Absolutely. I mean, every time I teach a lesson, the Lord's showing me something about myself, so it's definitely a great opportunity. Plus, God's given me a heart for men that are struggling, that are hurting and broken like I was. And, the good thing about it is I've been there, so I can relate to them, and, the Lord uses that to where another thing is I couldn't get away with nothing when I went to Dunklin. All my tricks and games and shenanigans were, everybody could call them out. So it also gives me an edge, as far as that goes. So I think it's a great program as far as the leadership training and how the men are growing up in the program.
Yeah, when do you anticipate that you'll start having residents here?
We're looking to do like a soft opening around the 1st of October, where, with the facility that we have now, we'll be able to work with approximately 6 men. We have some leadership that's going to come up from Dunklin and help out, that are guys that are in training right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, eventually, the bigger goal is to get the 6,500 square foot dormitory open and be able to work with 16 men in there.
So ultimately, the way your footprint is now, you'll have 16 full-time residents?
Yes.
Okay. When do you see that building out? When do you see the being able to accomplish that? Best case scenario?
To be honest with you, we're just kind of going slow right now. So, the best case scenario is going to be the 6 men. And then as the Lord provides the finances and the materials and the things that we need to get the building up and going complete, then, that's when we'll start, worrying about the 16 guys and the bigger picture. I know God's got that plan, and, that's our goal, but I'm not going to put a time on it.
Yeah, in talking with Shelley Chandler, pastor of First Baptist Church in Bonifay a few minutes ago, I mentioned that in one of our first conversations you explained to me the process of vetting these guys, and how you mentioned that you told one guy flat out he wasn't ready for this program. And so I would imagine that that's probably part of the timeliness of this, is that you're going to have to find guys who are actually ready for this program. Not so much the program being ready for them, but obviously if their head's not in the right place, if they're not ready to give it all up, there's no sense.
Correct. It's going to take a man that is, and they're difficult to find, but there's a lot out there. There's a lot of men that struggle with addiction. It takes a certain kind of man that's willing and ready to change his life. Someone that is going to be able to receive and hear hard correction on himself, and work and, really step up and be a man, is what it comes down to. That someone that's tired of being a boy and doing what he wants to do, and it's about time to do what he needs to do and not what he wants to do.
Here right now in Bonifay in Holmes County at the farm, right now with Jeremiah Guynn, if you would like to get involved, if you have an interest in perhaps learning more, their website is on the bottom of the screen right now. Also have a Facebook page, and a telephone number is down there. Give them a call. Jeremiah is quick to want to share the information. You can literally go to any sheriff in the 6 or 8 county area around us. They're all aware and engaged in what we're trying to do here. We're easy enough to find. And if you know anybody who could benefit from this program, certainly contact us as well. Again, right now here with Jeremiah Guynn at the farm in Bonifay. Farm, an acronym that stands for Faith-Based Addiction Regeneration Ministry, a way of saying a second chance for these guys who desperately need it. And obviously, in talking to Jeremiah and all these guys, are definitely going to get it right here in Bonifay, Florida. We'll be right back.